Scholars, it's Mrs. Jasnica, and we're back for another Draw With Me challenge. This is actually going to be the last week where we're doing art challenges together, and starting next week, we're going to be getting to learn Spanish together. So for this art project, we're going to be drawing robots together. What you'll need for this project is a paper, a pencil, and something to color with, like markers, crayons, or colored pencils. All right, let's go back to the art room. All right, kindergarten through second grade, we're going to be drawing our robot now. So I'm actually going to do two different kinds of robots so that you can see two different ways that we can do one. I'm going to begin in pencil so that I can erase. I'm also going to have my paper horizontal. That means it's going long way like this, not like this. All right. Now that I have my paper in the correct position, I am going to start with the robot that's going to be on the left-hand side. So I'm going to have two robots. One's going to be here, one's going to be here. So you want to keep a little bit of space on your paper so that you have space for the second robot we're going to be drawing. So the first robot we're going to do is going to start with the shape of a rectangle for its head. A rectangle is just a long square. So I am going to start with the line on the top. So here's the middle of my paper. I'm going to start on this side of the paper, the left side, and I'm going to draw a line going across somewhere in the middle. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit longer. There we go. And now I'm going to make the rectangle shape. So to make a rectangle, we're going to have two lines that are long and two lines that are short. I'm going to make my two lines going down. And now I have to close them off. So here is my rectangle. That's going to be his or her head. Now the body of this robot is going to be a square. So a square has around the same length on all sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by making two lines going down from the rectangle shape. So one line and two lines. So see, I left a little bit of space and I did the lines coming down. And now I'm going to close it off and it's going to look like a square. Now if yours looks more like a rectangle than a square, that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to get this line coming down and I'm going to connect it to this line. There you go. So now I have a rectangle on top of a square and they're touching. I'm going to draw the eyes now. So I'm going to use round circles for my eyes like I usually do. My eyes are going to be kind of big. So here's one. And now I want to make another one over here that's around the same size. One's a little bigger than the other. Let me make this one a little bit bigger. Now when I'm drawing, I am drawing very dark. So when I erase, it's sometimes easy to see my erasing lines, but that's okay. All right, now I want to make a little mouth. Now you can choose to make any kind of mouth that you want. I'm actually going to make a really tiny rectangle for the mouth since this is a robot. So I'm just going to make two lines in the middle between the eyes and then I'm going to connect them. So far all I've done is two little lines. And now I'm putting them together. So actually that's kind of cute, right? It looks kind of like a smiley face right there. But I'm going to make it into a rectangle. You can leave it like this if you want, because that's actually pretty cute. Now I'm going to make a little line like this. See, so now it looks like a little open mouth. All right, now we're going to make the hands and the feet. So to make the hands, we're actually going to make it look like he has his hands on his body, holding his body. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a C shape on the side of this square. So you can see that on the left side of the square, I did a C shape. And now inside that C shape, I'm gonna make a smaller C shape. Bloop. Now I'm gonna do the same thing on this side, but it's gonna be a backward C shape. So here is my backward C shape. And now I'm going to do the same thing inside that I did over here, which is I'm going to make a smaller C shape. And I'm going to give you guys time to do this in case I was going too fast. So again, C shape on this side with a small C shape. Kind of looks like a U actually, or a sideways U. And then you're going to do the same thing on this side. So what it's supposed to look like is this is the arm just holding on to its own body, right? So its arms might actually be behind its body. Now I'm gonna do the feet, and the feet are gonna be super, super easy. All we're gonna do for the feet is we're gonna make two little squares right on the ends of this square that's up here. So this is the body, this is the head, and now we're gonna do two tiny little feet. So the first one I'm going to make like kind of like a U shape is what it's going to look like, but also a square. So I'm going to go down. And then I'm going to come out this way. So it looks like a backwards L. And now I'm going to come back up. That's 1 foot. So see, it looks like a U with not curved edges. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to come down. And then I'm going to come out, which looks like an L shape. And now I'm going to come back up. So now we have these two little feet that look like squares. Now we're going to add the details. So we can add lots of different details. The first one we can add is we can add shines on the eyes. You don't have to do this since it's a robot, but I like to add shines. So I'm going to make a little circle in the corner. So it's just a circle inside of the circle, and it's in the top area. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. And just to make it extra shiny, I'm going to add another little circle, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now his eyes look shiny. It's kind of cute. And now we can add an antenna. So actually, I think I'm going to add two. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little rectangle over here on the side. So I'm going to make a line going out like this. Then it's going down. And then it's connecting. So it's kind of like a C shape if it were like kind of square looking. And I'm going to try to do the same thing on this side. So to do that, I'm going to pretend to go through here, and the ear would start over here, or the antenna that I'm going to be drawing. So from here, we're going to make a line going out. See, we want to try to make it the same height. And then we're going to go down, and let's see, this ends right around here. So I'm going to come back in and close it. Now, if one of your little rectangles is bigger than the other, like mine is a little bit bigger, you can change it. I'm going to leave it the way that it is. I don't mind that one of his rectangles is bigger than the other. And now I'm going to make the two antennas coming out. So one is going to be a stick coming out from the left hand side, and then a circle. There's one. And now I'm going to make another one right here, a line coming out, and a circle. Boop. And he's done. That's it. Now you can always add extra details, especially if you're in first and second grade. I'm going to add a couple details on the arms, for example, just to make them look more metal. So all I'm going to do is just add straight lines like that to make his little arm look like it's bending, and there's my cat. This is my cat Cairo. Let me move him. All right, and I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So just straight lines going down the little arms of our little metal dude, right? Our little robot. Now we're gonna make another friend robot who's gonna be over here on this side, because like I said, we're gonna have two robots. We don't want our robot to be by his or herself. So I'm gonna draw a robot over here. So now we have this big space. You should have a space where you can draw another robot. And if you don't have space, you can always turn the paper around, that's fine. Or you can draw this robot a bit smaller. So to make this robot, we're gonna be starting with the shape of an upside down U. So to do this U shape, I am going to start on this side because I know that this robot is on this side. So I'm gonna just go like this and I'm gonna make a U shape. There we go. So we have our U shape, and it's not perfect, but that's good enough for me. And now we're gonna make a little face shield, and I'm gonna turn my paper to do this, but the shape that we're gonna be doing is an oval. So right around up here somewhere, we're gonna make an oval shape. That's gonna be where the face of this robot is. I'm gonna turn my paper to make this shape because it's going to be easier for me to make this oval. So an oval is just a long circle. There we go. And I see that I have more space on this side than this side. If that bothers you, you can always erase if you see that your oval is not in the correct place. I'm going to go ahead and erase mine, but I know that I'm going to see my eraser marks because I drew so dark, and that's okay. There we go. So now my oval is kind of equal on both sides. Not perfect, but it's equal. So there is where his or her face is going to go. Now I'm going to make a line connecting this side to this side to close off the body. Boop. And you know what? Just to make it even more mechanical looking, we're going to draw another line up here. So just another line anywhere around here connecting to this side. There we go. And I'm even going to add a little circle to make it look like a little screw or a nail. There we go. Now I'm going to draw the feet. We'll draw the face last because you can pick the type of face that it has. So again, just like we did with this little dude or dudette, we're going to draw two little square feet. This time I'm not going to do them on the ends. I'm going to do them closer to the middle. So I'm going to do two lines going down. And then over here, two lines going down. And I'll wait for a moment because I know that I did that pretty fast. But this is going to be where one leg is, and this is going to be where the other leg is. And you can see that I didn't put them on the end like I did over here. I wanted this one to be different. So now that I have two lines going down and then two more lines, you should have 4 lines in total going down from the body. We're going to connect them. So I'm going to just do from this left line to this line, I'm going to put a line. And there's my square. And then from this third line, so 1, 2, 3, I'm going to connect this line to the last line. Like that. Okay? Now, if that was kind of difficult because I started with lines, all you need to do is draw a square and another square. Okay? Or you can do 2 U shapes. That works too, if that's easier. So those are his legs, and now we're going to draw the feet. And the feet are going to be pretty simple. They're just going to be 2 rectangles. So to do the rectangle, I'm going to do a line coming out from here and a line coming out from here. That's coming from my square. And now I'm going to do 2 lines coming down. And now I'm going to connect them. So this is the rectangle shape that we're trying to make for the feet. Now over here, if it's just easier for you to draw a rectangle, that's fine. I'm gonna draw my 2 lines going out. And now I'm going to draw 2 lines going down, like I did over here. And now I'm going to connect them. All right, now let's go back to the face. Now you can choose any face you want. You can make big circle eyes like I did for this one, or something else. So I'm gonna make, let's see, I'm gonna do 2 tiny circle eyes. So here's one, and here's another. And I'm just gonna put a little smiley face, and that's gonna be the face for this robot. There we go. All right, now you guys can color this in however you want. Robots usually are made of metal, which is usually like a gray color, but because this is art, you can color it any color you want. So I'm gonna begin outlining, and then you guys are going to color it in and show me, okay? Let's get started. Alright, scholars, so here are my 2 colored in robots. You can see that I chose different color grays, but if you only had 1 gray to color with, that's perfectly fine. I just wanted to show you a couple of different grays that you could use. Alright, now let's move on to 3rd through 6th grade. All right, 3rd through 6th grade, we are going to be drawing a robot from Among Us. This is a robot mini pet, and we are also going to be drawing a mini crewmate. So to begin, we're going to start with the robot because this is a robot video. We're going to be doing the robot on the left-hand side, facing that way, and we're going to be drawing the mini crewmate sitting down over here, facing that way, so that they're facing each other. So first things first, like always, make sure that your paper is horizontal like this. That way we have space to draw 2 things side by side, not like this. All right, now that I have my paper in the correct position, we are going to begin in pencil so that I can erase if I make a mistake. And I'm going to begin with my robot on the left-hand side. So here is the middle of the paper. We want to keep this side of the paper for the robot and this side of the paper for the mini crewmate. To begin, we're going to be drawing a C shape, kind of small, It's going to be the head of the robot, the side of the head. So I'm going to be making a C shape like that. So as you can see, I put it closer to the top of the paper. We want to leave space for the body. So my head is going to take up about this much space, and the body's going to take up about this much space. So here's our C shape. We're going to connect this part down to here with a curved line. It looks kind of like a parentheses. There we go. So now we have this weird little fat moon looking thing here, crescent moon. And what we're going to do is make a really long U shape connecting here to here. And that's going to be the front face of our robot. So to do that, I'm going to turn the paper. You can also make this like a rectangular shape. The lines in Among Us are kind of like, you know, a little bit curved on the edges, but not too much. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of sloppy. So I'm going to go right here and then curve down. And now I'm going to connect this part to this part. So this is what it looks like so far. And now I'm going to connect this corner to here. So this is the shape you should have. Again, this isn't going to be perfect because the way that Among Us is drawn is pretty sloppy. So if you make a mistake, really nobody's going to notice, because that is the art style that they use, is sloppy. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually a way to draw. But if you want to correct any mistakes that you've made, now would be the time. I can see that because I'm left-handed, when I draw, I kind of draw on top of the pencil lines that I make, and sometimes they smudge. So that is a problem with being left-handed, is that I smudge all my lines. All right, now we're gonna make the 2 circle eyes. I'm gonna make them pretty big. There's 1. There's 2. They're not the same size, and to me that's actually pretty important to make my eyes the same size. My eyes the same size, haha. So I'm gonna take the time to fix that, and you guys can fix any mistakes that you have. That's a little bit better. I'm happy with that. Plus I can always fix anything with my Sharpie at the end. All right, now we have the head. So this spot right here is going to be the side of the head, and this is the front of the head. So that means that this part back here, I've got to start making the neck connecting to the body. So right around here, this little area right here, we're going to make 2 lines going down. They're going to be pretty thin. So 1 line, 2 lines, and that is going to be the neck of our little robot. Now we're going to be making what sort of looks like a rectangle or a square. So to do that, we are going to start by making a line that starts a little before the neck and then goes down a little. So let me just show you. So here's my line. Notice how it's sloping down just a little bit. If you want to make it going straight, that's fine too. Mine is just curving down that way just a little, because we want this to look like a box that's going from big to a little bit small. Because again, the way that they draw is a little bit sloppy. So we're gonna go down from here. And again, actually, I don't know if I want to make this perfectly pointed. The way that they draw is kind of curved. So there we go. And then right here, we're going to curve back over. So you can see that this kind of looks like a square U shape or a C shape. And it's going kind of like smaller here and then going bigger. But you don't have to do it like that if you don't want to. Now I'm going to connect this line to this line with a mostly straight line. I say mostly because, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to just go down like this. So again, this is going to be the side of the robot, and now we're going to draw the front part of the robot. So to do that, I'm going to start from up here, and I'm going to make a line that's curving down just a little. So how we curve this one down, we're going to curve this one down. So we don't want it to go straight. We want it to curve down just a little bit. So like this. And again, I keep making my lines straight, but I want them to kind of curve slightly. So right here at the end, it's going to go down a bit. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Let me slow down a little in case I'm going too fast. So from here, we're going to just do another line going a little bit up. So not too slanted. We're going to go like this, and then we're just going to curve a little. Now, actually, I think I'm going to make this line less curvy. So it looked like a parentheses before, but I think I'm going to actually make it a little bit less like a parentheses. And I like that better, actually. Now I'm going to connect this line to this line. So we have this sort of rectangular shape, which shows the side of the body and the front of the body. And now we have to do the little circle feet, which are actually like the rotating wheels that help guide this little robot around. So I'm going to make a circle over here, and these circles are going to be pretty similar to the circle that we did for the eyes. Could be a little bit bigger, could be a little smaller. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So we have one over here at the corner. We have another one over here where this line comes down. And now what we're going to do over here is we're actually just going to make a parentheses shape, because you're not going to be able to see the whole circle. So just a parentheses coming down from that edge. So now we have circle, circle, parentheses. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect them. So from here to here, we're going to make a line. That line is pretty awful. Let me fix it. Oh my, I really made a, a mistake here. There we go. So we have a line from here to here, so that connects the two wheels. And now we're gonna go from this wheel to the end of the parentheses, or from the parentheses to the end of the wheel, like so. So this is the rotating wheels on the bottom. They're all connected. And we're pretty much done with this guy. This is what our little robot should look like. So now we're gonna move on to the mini crewmate. So to do the mini crewmate, it's gonna be similar to the video that I posted of us doing a normal crewmate, but this one's going to be sitting down. So let's begin with the face shield. So the face shield for the mini crewmate is a little bit bigger than the face shield for the regular crewmate. We're gonna be making what looks like a rounded rectangle shape. We're gonna start, so again, we're on this side of the paper now. We're gonna start by making the line on the top of the face shield. Then we're gonna be coming down, and see how I'm rounding the edges. Then we're gonna come out again. So right now we have this weird sideways U shape, and now we're gonna connect the front. So I'm gonna use a parentheses shape for this. You don't have to use a parentheses shape. You can just finish with a rectangle shape. It's up to you. And now we're going to do the body. So the head and the body. Right around here, so on the top of the face shield, not all the way on the edge, but right around here, we're gonna do an arch. So like the top of a circle, an arch. And we're gonna be coming down. So we wanna leave space over here because our mini crewmate is facing that way. So that means there's more space back here, kind of like there was space over here. And I'm going to make my arch like this. So face shield and then an arch. Now we're gonna be coming down until right around here because he's sitting down. So there we go. And now we're gonna imagine that this line is coming through the face shield and we're trying to figure out where it would be. So it would be right around here, and we're gonna come out from there and come down. So now we have our kind of U shape with a face shield on. Now we have to make the 2 sitting feet. So we're gonna draw the foot that would be closer to this side first, and then we'll draw the one over here. I'm going to go down from the face shield, right in the middle of the face shield, because I imagine that's where the foot would end. And we're going to make a C shape right around down here. So I'm gonna make a little C shape. And now I want to connect that C shape back to here. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make a curved line. So again, I'm gonna turn my paper. I'm gonna draw a line, and right around here, we're just gonna curve it up. Like that. Now we gotta do that other foot over here. And actually, I'm gonna make this line a little bit longer. There we go. So from here, where this line ended, we are gonna make a line that goes through like this. And now we're gonna curve it down to make that C-shape looking shape that we did over here. You can also call it a parentheses. So we're just gonna put a parenthesis shape here. And now we're going to connect it back to the first leg or foot that we drew. Like that. And there is our mini crewmate with the robot pet. All right, let's get this outlined and colored in. So I realized after I began outlining that I forgot the antenna on my robot. So I went ahead and added it in now. I also added in a horizon line in a moment because I didn't want them kind of floating in space, and you know I love coloring the background. So I just wanted to make sure that I added that in. All right, 3rd through 6th grade, here is my finished artwork. You can see that I added a couple of extra things. First of all, I added a horizon line, and I also added this antenna at the top of this robot because I had forgotten to do it earlier. So I chose to make the background a light green because I couldn't figure out what color I could use that I hadn't already used that I liked. So they are sitting on a brown floor. Not sure what it's made out of, but I chose to make it brown because I didn't want like too many bright colors. And my mini crewmate is supposed to be black, but I didn't want to make him completely black, so I just made the shadow black and then made him a really, really dark gray. All right, now let's see what you guys were working on. And I will end the video here and see you next week. Next week, we are going to be working on learning Spanish. So just keep that in mind because that is going to be something new for us to do together. See you next week.